Aaron Rodgers has officially now been traded to the New York Jets. So, with that being said, I'm going to get for you guys a New York Jets 7 round mock draft in here. I'm going to put out a Packers one too so you can see how they rebuild post Aaron Rodgers. But now that we got the trade, you can see I have the trade here on the PFF draft simulator here. So, basically, the New York Jets move back 2 spots to pick 15, and then they pick up a pick at 170 in this draft, along with getting Aaron Rodgers. And the Green Bay Packers move up to 13. They got a second rounder this year, pick 42. Then they also get a pick 207 at the end of the draft, and then also a second round conditional pick next year, which if Aaron Rodgers hits a snap percentage, then that could become a first rounder. So kind of like the Carson Wentz conditional second round pick with the Eagles and the Colts. But nonetheless, Aaron Rodgers is now on the New York Jets. So let's see how we can go about this draft and put the New York Jets in the playoffs for the first time in a long time. So we're back to 15 as opposed to 13, which I don't think honestly hurts them that much because I think they want to go O-line. And so they're just hoping the O-line run doesn't hit before them. We're back here 15, and we have Peter Skoronski available, which would definitely be an interesting option for them because I do think tackle's the biggest need. But with this draft, Paris Johnson and Broderick Jones would be my two favorite guys for them, are both gone. Peter Skoronski is kind of similar to Elijah Vera Tucker, where I think he'd play better inside rather than tackle, but their inside isn't bad right now. Lincoln Tomlinson and Elijah Vera Tucker are pretty good guards. And then they just re-signed Connor McGovern at center. So it's really the tackle that I wanted to attack. So Darnell Wright could be the pick, but I wouldn't pass up on Skoronski just because I think Skoronski could play right tackle. But it does make me not want to go tackle, even though tackle was my initial thought, and that's who Broderick Jones has been my guy for the Jets. But I mean, if we don't go Broderick Jones Peter Skoronski here, looking at the other options, there could be value at corner or edge, I think, are two other positions that have. Somehow Tyree Wilson's on the board. I don't know where PFF messed with their mock draft simulator. For some reason, Tyree Wilson dropped to 28th. I'm almost like I would be willing to bet a lot of money that Tyree Wilson is a top 10, if not top 5 pick in this draft. So for sake of, even though I like to just run by what the mock draft gives me, for sake of just, I'm not going to pick Tyree Wilson here, even though obviously I think Tyree Wilson would be the home run pick if he is here at 15. I just have serious doubts about him actually being there. If there's a guy that's like Peter Skoronski probably won't be here, but there's definitely a chance. So, I would be fine with that. But like Tyree Wilson, let's be honest, PFF. Come on, let's get our stuff together. I know some people don't like him as much, but 28th is kind of absurd. But looking back, I mean, positions I definitely think they could use maybe a little more receiver depth. I think if they want an elite tight end, that could be something they look at. Maybe not first round. Like I said, I want to attack tackle anywhere on the D line. I think they could use some bodies. This is a tough pick, and for me, I mean, looking at their cornerback room, I mean, you got Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, and then Michael Carter. I mean, they got a stacked corner room too. This is a tough pick. I'm just gonna go best offensive lineman available with Peter Skoronski. But I mean, they could really go anywhere. They don't have New York just one of those teams where they don't really have any holes. I just want to go. I think Skoronski can play right tackle. I think he's probably better than Max Mitchell, just plugging in at right tackle. And then I think they've just had so many injuries on that offensive line that I think he could slide around wherever. I mean, if you really had to throw him at left tackle, he's natural there. And I mean, I know some people don't want him at tackle because of his arm length, but I mean, if you're forced to throw him at left tackle, because Mekhi Becton goes down with an injury, he could do it. So he might be just the player for them to just. I mean, he could play 4 of the 5 positions on the O line. And especially with Mekhi Becton, who's hurt all the time. Vera Tucker had some injury issues. Just a good guy to get. Now back up at pick 43. In the second round for them, I do like linebacker and tight end. I mentioned tight end earlier. Linebacker is another position group that I think they need to work on. They got CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams right now. So they definitely need some help at linebacker. Now, I don't think that conversation happens in the first round. But in the second round, I think you start to have that conversation. So for me, it's between, if we want to look at tight end, it's either Darnell Washington or Sam Laporta. I know Peter Schrager on Good Morning Football the other day came out and said that a lot of teams have Sam Laporta higher on their board than Darnell Washington. So that could be an interesting either attack one of those tight ends, or if we want to attack linebacker, they could get their pick of Jack Campbell or Diane Henley. I'm probably gonna go linebacker here for them, just because I do. Tyler Conklin was all right, and CJ Uzomah was all right. I just think they could use an upgrade, but I think the linebacker class kind of hits a wall after these first three dudes. I like Overshown and Dorian Williams, but like really once you get past at least like Dorian Williams, I think there's a huge drop off. So we want to make sure we get into this linebacker market, and then it's kind of depending on what you want. If you want a more of a box to box run game kind of dude, Jack Campbell. I mean, Jack Campbell is good in the pass game too, but like he's your more Mike linebacker box kind of guy. And then Diane Henley's a converted DB who's incredible coverage skills. So if I'm looking at between these two, and then if I also want to take into account their division with like Buffalo in their division and the Dolphins, I want to be able to stop the pass game. So I'm going to go Diane Henley just because that pass coverage, he's probably the best pass coverage linebacker. Side on side, like I said, former DB, great hips, great movement. I think I actually had Diane Henley in my second round mock draft to the Jets too. So do that. Like when you're going up against the likes of the Dolphins and the Bills twice a year, you need to be able to cover. So Diane Henley will help them with that. Now back up at pick 112. I mean, Kobe Turner's staring me in the face right here, just jumping off the screen as a dude. And I love Kobe Turner. Pair him next to Quinnen Williams. Kobe Turner's a little smaller, but I think he could thrive next to Quinnen Williams. Quinnen's a beast. So get another dude with Kobe Turner. I'm just gonna attack that D line there and get that pick out of the way. Like I said, go check out my defensive gems video if you want to hear more about Kobe Turner because he's an absolute stud. Moving on to pick 143. Still kind of some of the same needs. I do like Oluwatimi. Here I already did attack O-line. But it's Joe Douglas comes to that Howie Roseman of you build the two lines. You can already see I've kind of done that. I've taken a defense and offensive lineman. So I wouldn't be surprised if they take more than one lineman. If you want to get some receiver depth at this point in the draft, I guess you're looking for more just like speedsters. I do like Parker Washington. I like Bryce Ford Wheaton if you want just a pure speedster, but I don't think there's any chain movers right here. So I might attack some more depth at edge here and looking at who's available. For me, this pick would be between probably Yasir Abdullah and Jose Ramirez. Yasir Abdullah is kind of your linebacker, edge, hybrid dude, super uber athletic. And then Jose Ramirez is more of a pass rush specialist dude. He's a little bit on the smaller side, but coming out of Eastern Michigan, led Division I football in sacks last year. Had a great week at the Shrine Bowl. I'm going to go ahead and get Jose Ramirez, just bring some pure pass rush to the table. I mean, this dude has a pass rusher is up there. He's a little bit smaller, and he won't be able to probably play on early downs. But they have some good depth right now at edge in Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson. They got Solomon Thomas on the inside, John Franklin Myers. They got some good depth, so you can get a dude who, good rotation dude who on third down, he can be just a weapon for you. Now we're back up, pick 170. This is going to be our last pick in the draft, so I just want to get probably one of them. We've kind of hit some of the positions I want to hit. I think safety, they could definitely use some more depth too. I kind of wished Ashton Davis would take over as that safety, but he just hasn't done that yet. So just looking though, like, just players that I like is kind of like what you're looking for here, and just like a dude that provides something that they don't have. I do actually maybe want to bring in Bryce Ford Wheaton. Looking at their receivers, they got Garrett Wilson, who's like, he's your number one. He can do it all. You got Corey Davis, who's more of like a possession receiver. Alan Lazard, definitely a possession, big body receiver. Denzel Mims, big body possession receiver like Lazard. Then McCole Hardman he's a speedster, but he's like a bit of a smaller dude. I'm going to go ahead and get them Bryce Ford Wheaton. Kind of bring that just pure, he's a taller, faster guy. Just bring that pure, he's one of the fastest dudes in this draft. I mean, he was one of my combine risers. He had an incredible combine, just showing off as one of the most athletic receivers. Get him to just prize more depth and just that speed. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, we've seen, he can throw the deep ball, so go ahead and get him to someone that he can throw it to. Kind of like your own little Christian Watson. Now, I'm not saying Bryce Ford Wheaton's as good as Christian Watson, but like someone who's kind of similar where he's got that size and speed similar to a Christian Watson that we saw Aaron Rodgers have some success with. Even though Aaron Rodgers won't throw it to young receivers, we'll see how Garrett Wilson turns out this year. But maybe Christian Watson turned a new leaf in Rodgers' career. But this is my mock draft. Just have significantly less picks after this trade. But they finally got the trade done. In my opinion, maybe overpaid a little. That conditional second's a little scary. I think you throw this conditional second round pick out. That was a very good trade for Rodgers. But that conditional second, I mean, like, let's be honest. As long as Rodgers doesn't get hurt, he's going to hit that snap percentage. So you basically, you flipped first this year. Then you gave up a second and an extra first next year. I mean, that's a fat trade for someone who's basically said he's already only going to play for the Jets. So let me know what you guys saw of the trade below, but this is my little draft that I would build out to build behind them. I look at it now, it's kind of a little Shrine Bowl draft at the end with Kobe Turner, Jose Ramirez, and Bryce Ford Wheaton. But that's going to do it. I'm going to put out a Packers mock draft just after this so you guys can see how the Packers can attack this. I'll see you guys next time, though. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the draft on Thursday, man. It's here already.